gvNIX. Okay. Next speaker, next presentation, software for integrated mapping management. Our speaker, he's a software engineer by Valencia University. He works for gvSIG, where he coordinates software programs. Thank you. My name is David Cervera. I am the coordinator of gvSIG Roads, a tool for managing and maintaining roads and for viewing data on roads in an integrating mapping information system. Okay, first of all, what is gvSIG Roads? This is the only slide I shall read. It is an open source and interoperable software for the management of road infrastructure. It is open source based. It is free software. Any company using this application, whether public or private, they have access to the source, and it is interoperable because it complies with a number of open formats and standards. It provides us with technological independence. So we are not dependent on a single supplier. We don't have to pay licenses for the licenses, and we can access data generated from the application by using a standard compliant tool. gvSIG is the company that developed this particular solution. I would like to explain to you the technologies behind the project gvNIX, which has been described a minute ago. For the mapping, we developed gvSIG desktop, and for the geo portal integrated in the application, Lifford, and for spatial data, POSGIS, but there wouldn't be any problems in supporting other databases. It complies with information access standards. For mobile devices, we use Android. Of course, it is all developed on Java. All this has been done under the umbrella of gvSIG Association. Why? Well, gvSIG Roads is a solution by gvSIG Association, hence the name. What does the association do? Well, it gives us access to all of the information, and it helps us coordinate things between different administrations, and of course dissemination through conferences like this one. Our client is the Transport Department of the Provincial Council of Valencia. There was a need in this department to handle data on roads and to view all this data on a map. By the way, I would like to say thank you to the Road Department of the Provincial Council for their understanding and their support. Thank you, Javier, Piedra, and your team, because they were really involved, and it is, thanks to them that we managed to develop the solution, which is currently underway. What is the purpose of gvSIG Roads? Well, infrastructures and road infrastructures have diverse problems, works, expropriation, new projects, new works, and different levels of the administration get involved, different departments and organizations. And then we have the contractors, the companies that do the works on the infrastructure, and the citizens as well, all of us who are the users of road infrastructures and the payers. What is the goal then? To bring together into a single tool all data necessary for the right maintenance and management of the infrastructures. by the administration, by the companies, and of course by users, should they need to have access to the information. Right, what is the situation of the project now? Well, the administration suggested to divide the project into different phases. Phase number 1 is to generate a web tool for managing and addressing the most pressing needs, and basically maintenance, road maintenance. This phase is already operational. This part of the project is already ongoing and working, and it allows us to do the maintenance and management. Phase number 2, the development of a geoportal integrated into the web tool, which will allow users to view all data from phase 1 on a map, with a view to improving management of road infrastructures. We are about to complete phase 2. We hope that in early 2015 the administration will be able to use it. And then improvements, of course, ongoing improvements based on the feedback of the Council and their contributions. Phase 3, which runs parallel, the possibility of managing part of the information on the tool from mobile devices. Why? Well, when you work in the field, when you do field work in road maintenance and infrastructure, obviously different devices are used, so we suggest to develop an application integrated into a mobile device to be able to handle data. This phase, as I said, runs parallel to phase 2. We're now collecting data, and once data are validated, we will move on to project appraisal and all the corresponding steps. Let me now focus on the tool and the workflows of gvSIG roads. Here we see what we call surveyors or security officers. They go on the road, they record any faults, any problems, or ordinary people may give us a call as well. You know, this road needs conditioning, etc. All this information is passed on the coordinator, who then organizes the workload for repairs and maintenance. These orders are manned or staffed by the so-called maintenance brigade. And then, once the work is completed, the administrative department raises an invoice. All this is focused on a global view of the whole process in maintenance and roadworks. Besides, it helps improve the expenditure distribution based on real data.
I would like to mention that here all the components, vigilant external agents, the conservation brigade, that can be an external company. It doesn't have to be the public administration. It can be an outsourced company. The work is the same. And the web tool that was mentioned in stage 1 was divided into modules, and we see vigilance, surveillance, and incidences, and job orders, measurements. That allows me to explain the visual aspect. This is the same for all modules in such a way that once you know how to work with any of the modules included in the tool, you can work with any of them, and the the screen is always similar, and surveillance using the master listing, and then you have then and the itineraries follow during that surveillance job. We have then the creation of new data which are integrated in a small form. In this same page it has an integrated search engine and is filtering the results. We have data export tools. All the listings they have export to PDF, CSV, and XLS, and then we have many functionalities like pagination and erasing of blocks. We are in the same screen, in the same page, and everything can be managed from here. In addition to that page, there is another screen where we can look for other information between ranges of dates or between ranges of kilometers. And how do you see this? Well, in a similar way as what we saw before within the tool is the geoportal, where we see the information which is introduced in the web application. We should underline that when the information is shown, when you tick on one of them, then basically what we have seen in the previous lecture, you can go to the edition or the version of this registry without having to leave the application. We have the typical layers. It's a geoportal. It's just improved because you can filter that and we'll see what we have seen in Mario's video. And here we have Parazoom and different tools to work with this geoportal. I'll continue with the following modules. After the surveillances, we have incidences that you may find in the road. And this is the daily tool for the one who is responsible for that district. We have different colors in order to be able to visualize the situation in which they are out of date or is still pending. Creating an incident. There is a form in order to create an incident within the web. If you create an incident in order to facilitate the search, for instance, if there was an accident and something was broken, then you know that it has to be repaired, and then you can always know who has created that incident, when was it modified and when was it eliminated. Search engine, first list, and then search incidences with many filters, ranges of filters, roads, whether there are already worksheets created. And what's the important thing about incidences? The list that we have seen, that's nice. You see the list. But if you have access to the map, then you see that information directly painted on the map. It's a very useful tool for the one who is responsible for the conservation of roads, because he or she can see immediately which are the incidences which are out of date and not solved, and whether they are close to the car, and then you can contribute to the final aim, which is to facilitate the work. Here we have just one incident, and a specific incident which is shown with a market. Before we have seen that the itinerary is shown with a line in case that the zoom is a high level. Then the markets are grouped up, indicating the quantity of incidences. In this case, then you can do zoom in order to see the two incidences separately. If we go to the following incidents, we generate the work orders which are received by the conservation brigade to their work. Here you can also add files or anything else you need here. Where should you do the task? As we saw in the previous lecture, is a map which is integrated within the file, which may be the work order, the job order, and then these job orders are generated in order to give them to the person in charge of doing the job. Based on the job orders, the person in charge will generate after this have been generated, it will have an economic control generated based on the generation of those tasks. Such information may be filtered in order to obtain partial data, so that the one who is responsible for the conservation may see the expense that is being done between dates in a specific period through roads and clustering. And you can generate then the certifications, which in fact are the same as invoices for the job done. Having this information available, which is the advantage of it, the person in charge of DISC, knowing this information, may make better decisions, the development of expense monthly, in order to see how are they in relationship with the budget established for the period or the job or the company. And in addition to this, as Mario said, as far as this has been developed with gvSIG, it has a support in order to be displayed over any device or resolution using HTML5 so that we can achieve that this is an adaptive. In fact, one of the demarcation of the Valencia Provincial Authority is working, and the surveyors, they go to the field directly with the tablets, and they can go with the tablets. They do not need anything else, but for those areas in which you do not have coverage, then you need a web application, and this web application in those areas where you cannot have data connection, the surveyor may introduce the incidences and the itinerary, and once he or she can data connection, then that information is synchronized with the web application in such a way that the person in charge of the conservation has this information already introduced in the application and updated. As I mentioned, we are now in the stage of analyzing this stage. The idea is to have the typical Android application where you can manage, as we said, the incidences and vigilances. And what is the following thing? The ideas that we have by the gvSIG Association, being able to include the inventory of all the elements which compose daily structure, integration with other layers of information, status indicators, in order to see any incidents in the road, being able to inform the citizens. A part of the geoportal may be public, a part of everything. Why cannot citizens see which is the expense being invested in roads? And you can add new modules to the idea. You can add any other modules, for instance, exploitation works, management of reports, cadastre management. There are many things that can be integrated in the gvSIG road application. So And gvSIG Roads is an open source application based in open standards and sources, and is directed to the management and conservation of the road network, and also the management of the cartography elements of roads. The idea of gvSIG Roads is making work easier for the civil servants, and that helps us all. Also having everything integrated in the same application, map display and data management. And finally, I would like, if you allow me to do so, I would like to thank all the team that has participated in the development of this application. Paula, Estivaliz, Chema are there, and the people from Diputación, and we all are happy with this application. Thank you very much. Thank you, David. I would like to take advantage that we are very happy with the first stage of the work, and I hope that next year we'll be able to continue